Hi, I'm Francis DeVine. I'm a board member of the Okemo Valley TV, and in addition to that, I'm a board member of the Weston Playhouse Theater Company. And I'm here today in Walker Farm with Susanna Gellert, the new Executive Artistic Director of the theater. And last year we had a chance to do a quick tour of the Walker Farm facility. Now we're here to meet Susanna, hear a little bit about her background, vision for the company, and to hear about the exciting new season that we have planned. So Susanna, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your background, where you came from. You joined the theater here in middle of July of last year, and
That's
so
right.
you've had now plenty of time to settle in and understand. But but I know you're putting together an exciting season. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about your background first.
Sure. So I came to Weston from New York City, where I was the associate producer at a theater called Theater for a New Audience, which is a theater in Brooklyn. It's actually one of the largest Shakespeare programs in the city. So we liked to say that Theater for a New Audience focused on Shakespeare and other contemporary authors. So it was very much based in the work of the classics, but we also did a lot of new work. While I was at Theater for a New Audience, I was also directing. My background is really as a director, and I got into producing and artistic directing via directing. So I was sort of an artist first, like many theater administrators. So I grew up in New York City and was directing in New York, went to school in Chicago, did the whole MFA at Yale thing that so many people do. I was one of them. But all while I was doing that, I was spending a lot of time in Vermont. I grew up as a child spending summers in Wilmington with my aunt and uncle. And about 10 years ago, my husband and I got a little place in Shaftesbury. So I've always had a little bit of Vermont, maybe not in my blood, but in my heart. So that really drew me to Weston. I really was excited to come to a theater where not only could I be in Vermont, but a theater that is such a part of the community, that really matters to the people who come, and also that's very aware of its audience and its community. So it's not just a place that's selling tickets to an audience, but it's a place that's really trying to serve its audience.
Like we said, you've been here since July.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's evolving, but just give us a sense of the vision and direction you see the theater going in, both with the main stage and the Walker Farm Theater.
Yeah. It's so funny because I've been here since July, and in a way that feels like 70 years, and in a way it feels like 2 days. It's just, I feel like I've learned so much, which is why it feels like it's a long time, and then I look back and I think, oh, it's just a blink of an eye. So a lot of things are taking shape. Walker Farm, this amazing building that we're in today, it's so special, particularly because the theater itself is just a really perfect gem for intimate, innovative, artistic theater. And at the same time, it's a great gathering space. So in the summer, we are doing plays and musicals here for audiences of about 100 to 150 people. We're really interested in bringing new writing to this theater. It's a perfect space for new writing because it is so intimate. So a lot of my focus is on new writing. In the winter, though, we've started doing a lot of programming that's much more community and event oriented.
I'm happy to say I've attended a bunch of them, and they're great.
I mean, they're really fun. We've had people dancing in this room to live music. We've had jazz concerts. We've had classical music concerts. So it's almost getting to the point where if you decided on a Friday night that you were looking for something to do, you could say what's going on at Walker Farm, and you could come down and see a music event, a film. It's really lovely. It's becoming a great gathering spot for the community and the surrounding area.
Great.
So I'd say those are sort of the two most important things for me right now about Walker Farm. It's going to continue to evolve.
Sure. Well, we have your first new season coming up. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you picked these plays, what sort of, let's say, philosophy you were applying to it, and just highlight some of it.
Yeah. Well, I guess I go back to the thing that drew me to Weston in the first place, which was this idea of a community, of a place that, a theater that really reacted to and cared about its community. And as I was thinking about my first season, I thought a lot about what it would mean to become a part of this community and what it would mean for theater to matter in this community. And by community, I mean the town of Weston, I mean the area of southern Vermont, and I mean the broad audience that we bring in, which includes people coming from New York State, New York City, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, all over, Canada even. So it's not just a local idea, but it is a question of sort of what brings all these people together to this gathering spot. So a lot of the choices I made this season had to do with an idea about what brings community together and what community is looking for, what people are looking for when they come together. And for me, right now, that is definitely an idea of sharing joy together, sharing common experience. I thought a lot about opportunities to laugh together because frankly, I kind of crave it.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah. So the shows aren't all comedies, but they all try to make people feel like they're in a room experiencing something together. I mean, one of the shows is Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which, while a part of me deeply believes that that is a comedy, I think I'm the rare person who has that dark soul. But it is a huge experience where you're going through something with the 4 people in that play. And when that play really kicks it out of the ballpark, you just feel like you're breathing together with everybody else in the room. In a kind of terror and elation, which I love. So,
well, run us through the list of plays you're going to have both on the main stage and Walker Farm.
Yeah. So I'll start the Playhouse. We have 3 shows at the Playhouse, and the first is The Fantastics, which is the longest-running musical in history.
Saw it in New York.
It's a beautiful story. It's about young love and parents and children and how that love evolves. It's a really stunning, sweet story. And
the music still rings through my head.
It has some of the most glorious music. I mean, I feel like it's such. I'm directing that one, and it's such a joy to be able to just listen to that music every day as part of my job. I feel really lucky. Then we're doing Oklahoma. Which is another favorite of mine. The thing about Oklahoma is that piece really is about what it means to make a community in America. It's not necessarily what it was about when it was written.
Use that.
Yeah, but like what it is today, that musical really gets at sort of what brings people together and what are the struggles they have to go through when they are trying to build something together. Then Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which I just mentioned. So the Playhouse is very much celebrating the classics, which is a key part of what Weston's mission is. Then at Walker Farm, our first show is The Phantom Toll Booth, which is our Theater for Young Audiences show. So that's for the under 20, under 15 set and their parents. It's based on a young adult novel by Norman Juster. It's a really fun story about a boy going off on an adventure that changes his whole world. Okay. Then a relatively new play called I and You, which is about
looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's the I and You title comes from Walt Whitman, and it's about 2 teenagers who develop an unusual relationship in the course of a homework assignment. And it's very funny, and it has this twist at the end that I can't tell you about, but it rocks my world. Then we're doing Always Patsy Cline, which is a really fun story about Patsy Cline. It's a true story of a friendship she developed.
I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, it's 2 women. It's about their friendship, but there's a live band on stage. And it's basically you go into a Texas honky-tonk and experience, Patsy's music live.
And that's going to be on this
that's
stage.
Here, yeah.
That
so that'll be a little bit of our
that'll
winter.
Be fun and intimate.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a little bit of our winter music series coming into the summer because it's really a get up on your feet and dance if you want to kind of show.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And then in the fall we're doing a new play called Indecent, which was on Broadway a couple of years ago.
Okay.
It won a couple of Tonys. It's by Paula Vogel, who wrote How I Learned to Drive and has won a Pulitzer or 2. And that's a really amazing play.
You mentioned in the fall. When in the fall would that be?
Yeah, it basically runs the month of October.
Okay.
So, and
now
that's
that's new for the theater to be
yeah,
doing
so
that.
that's what Walker Farm, this building, allowed us to do.
Great.
We could run a show in the fall, and part of what's great about that is that the high school students can come because they're in school, and it becomes a part of their curriculum.
And that's part of the outreach that the Playhouse does with the schools in the area.
And that's really important to us,
That's
having students come and see the work, and they all get a question and answer session afterwards, which is really special.
This may be a loaded question, but you mentioned your background in Shakespeare. Can we anticipate some Shakespeare here in Weston?
Yes. I mean, I hope so. I don't have any definite plans, but first of all, I do sort of think of the American musical as America's Shakespeare. That sort of timeless quality of our musicals. Why does Oklahoma keep coming back? It's the same reason Romeo and Juliet does. It always has something to tell us. But yeah, Shakespeare it is in my DNA. So I definitely have ambitions to get Shakespeare in this room, which is a room not unlike Blackfriars Theater, where he did his, where McBee, I can't say the name in here, but a lot of his plays started in a room not unlike this one.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. This is
Thank
great.
you.
It looks like it's going to be an exciting season, and we all welcome you to Weston and the community.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.